6 matches to go. Coach, you back, and no any first training and training no can and said, and yeah, giddy biasa. Yes, one got you know.
Mate from the press conference, Minister voice in our academy to Ekase. And Kotoko supporters expect beautiful football.
Sure.
Or more expected results. In Tibono, or Master or Bobo February. Lydia say, or best Kotoko team in the app. Not in game beyond Bobiano. Or my results in the old game in Rich, I am Wakaka. Say, Karim Zito Bejatum say, the target is still to win the league and the FA Cup. And can share the experience of Karim Zito war. And the way of footballers now. And can ABA or be water down the expectations in the. But for him to say, oh, you bet me, you see, Kotoko has our biggest problem. ASANTE expectations now. And the moment you raise it for them, they will keep it there throughout or love life, no. And see, and they Kotoko next game against Ediana. Supporters Baba Stadium. The one my better than radio at OTA commentary do or TV. The expectation is say
that's all about G League.
Ajenkwana ba Karim Zito say about G League no. And see, your match is here, Kedi. You rusu ba kokra. And you be really games na kan nyina na league ni FA Cup no ye timi age na rich manu susumuna so say over the current form of teams na ebo league na say o rank omomo form pa make omomo ye contenders na you put baby any go stars you put nations and some point about the Kotoko any omomo maka no. And Omumi Bibi say they are going to drop in form in the next 6 games now. And assuming they don't drop in form, now your ball league ni we no went to me and now after the season, after now Baba started you man ankasa because Karim Zito Wabe 6 matches now can any FA Cup games just in on interim basis so went to me and league now. Then even before you start your work as a technical director, now I draw doubts. Any of competence, I will be to the abed. You don't need that.
There's a league in your boat league. No one to be anti league now. I want to create doubt.
Exactly. What wasn't go first that say, we call by a course, was say, or the G League near pick up you went to me and yet, now some may all even a higher office, so a technical director, not on be a sporting project, or bet me this is a pago criminal. Don't let people doubt you because of expectations be a sebi outrageous. You can be very, very truthful with the supporters.
Sure.
And Karim Zito, we are through and through Kotoko. You have a very, very good relationship with Obia and Kotoko. And to tell them the truth. So look, tell me now, my baby, any time, Papa. And no man kuyi. Meet me aye, dear, meet me aye. I'm a yabo season every year.
Simple.
Say me season now.
Yeah, fine.
Then
you're moving on next season.
Even with the concept say, Karim Zito any coach plays Owusu. Kotoko pay for me at say, omunya the substantive coaches of the club.
Sure.
Yabo season we are. They want to even bring in a first team coach, not Prince Owusu, I an assistant. Then Karim Zito ever cost as a technical. Say if that is the vision there, then I think say on the basis of the targets for this interim arrangement, wrong, mommy. And that is why I best started with the problems now. With the new direction, they should have maintained a very, very calm expectations. Nanka for more season in ye. Nanka omuya na kuma restructure no man kuma timi akoma ni. But yeah, we should all the best. Kuma se no wabano. Karim Zito today is known of a lot of friends through the media and identity. We will try and have a relationship with him. Near how they were and the Jumani be see Ako Honor Rich.
Okay. Bismarck Osuben Payala and Martin Cano. Chairman Nyantakyi. I will see you, huh? Chairman. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now what to say? Oh, Nyamiadum, Yahoya Pa. I say, well, Chairman, Nana Nyantakyi, Okwa Bruchira. How supporters no honor on a young chairman. na no say chairman niema nkoyi ma no go house no result nkoyi enti chairman no ha any chairman everyday nkomo ba so no say di kan no oni George na ebai Joe by microphone ma me na yendi nkomo good morning na bibi aboko de e am yase ye we ni ma no na after football so niema ko say
me that's ni akonya de mama me coach mu
okay
maybe kakra bi tama me wo chire kakra say football no de coach mu na me
oh okay ti after obo Kotoko ni wi no so ye coaching ni kakra na so bia obenya team bia obetimi dia ye adwuma
me start 208 but bibi happen ma edu baby a coach no so ya na ha adwene kakra
okay
you know me dey before jai coach no me 8 years
I see.
And you know your coach, we did the money.
Okay.
Our national team. No, no. So I advise him say no, mommy jai.
Okay.
Because me never be with me more. Meet him the actual and call no so about it.
Okay. They say team be now.
Me I feel I must start and baby be kakra.
Okay. Okay.
The way mama share me boss me nene na mo anamo ka say I didn't say to ni na.
I don't know woman afo obey you.
Oh, my boss, my best friend in football, Muntino.
Be a Kotoko, no friend, best friend he has, chairman.
And you know, as a movie, seriousness.
Kotoko team no is saying, what would be that? Treachery now, team is saying,
Kakra meti makano, na me kase me job on actually didn't know, na me follow football.
Okay.
But last season, this season, my shop Kotoko games kakra. Me hunu say say blay wo mumu
boys na bre
sami hunu na beba sanso na who player no e bia na on wrestle enu nti na me hunu sa because nka ohra nka nye bad but if omo finish game na omo ti call machi nti no say the winter ba sika me feel say no so ebeboa say omo omo training no omo tima koso na omo push omo ho because Kotoko no e bi ni ye time no na ye na always be no we training you
do bro nu kakra bro nu kakra
you training because Kotoko supporters no omo di answer omo hia so mba wene omo hia bibia mfiri e say bi oyiro ho a mo udidi come on
okay
obi timi ogu big ba be fa akura atna ne ka mu do akọ but one timi awene dia so lusu ne bonus no it me the players it no hia me pa players no say omo push omo
always it is common na ye di say a coach no who dey out nature who say coach a player
more na de me blame players na okay more well coach ka say that one na ko that 3 o'clock kwa say dem ka call calm to dey discipline coach pa until players me dem more na players me blame more because Kotoko no me dey na me who example say me fi bi na te ba Kotoko no trainer ba be face Kotoko no me ba Kotoko no me training more than say mo be United no because next season obi super ba it's a season me say Kotoko play be film because o ma anya de players no mo ba mu nso so o ba na so amayiro ho a o be ko but say we training 2 hours now ba Kotoko it's we training 4 hours because player na go share no say be o be a player no ono so ba yire no ho be bo na Kotoko abeto no eti o na me di blame mo
okay the players na o ma bre
me dey say mu say blame wo
enye sikasam and technical issues yeah
o bo Kotoko na bo ha sa o ntimi enka sikasam
it is o show time now the compare ni the year and Kotoko ne mo time the difference be no
difference o mu say trainer na ye no eburu o mu de no
so go training
say time to say be be
train
stadium e be at 3 o'clock by 1 o'clock no who the whole team ni nyina no obi na mkwa ho dumi ka stadium train coach no for team training yentra ka mu na yentra bas na me fa me kan go training say me ko train coach no that be because team na oba be face no be 2 position as number 8 or as number 4 or number 2 it na so ma training course no it yet time no there na training na we mu pa you be training 2 hours before answer e team training the coming of time personal
wow
coming of time 201 no by me 1 o'clock na me the mechanic kajetia because assessment 1 o'clock we are as a senior player because me pene mo bi me free position for next season it feel say nyina no e ka ho say the ombe ti advice ni dia mo fa suka be bo mo on future
ogum time no ye titin sembebre na ogum too strict and opposite players ni say players no so o mo ye mpanyimfo nti the way ogum pese chinchine atwa wo pese otutu mo sem kra san ento konkitin edi dimu amene ogum ni ho biem se wuti a reporter no so yo kan bi so obi share boys no I say ogum ni ho nti afa obi e kana adwene any ni problems are no owom from baby a wote no sa kwan be na coach efa so ni players are sitting mu no omutimi se na okay coach say ko that work no ko that three ohun no kan so na abuafu. How do you maintain this idea no team because say who they want money be that and so as a coach sa relationship no say you managing no baby say
question no so here me the meet can say do be o as a leader no so e say o sack players no ogum no say problem we o kra na etim ye one on one oh be adwo e be mistake bi chia kra na me my mistake bi kra na me srem ha ya nyina no yen kan hu moment team ntim megina but se bia me as a coach so me dey bufo efesi plan dia ene wa bechia etine hia sakin say as a leader no mo ye adwuma ma wo as a coach no ana moreover no press na na yo 60% than the coach no ye ko match na me sometimes me my bibi ko coach na kire me but the corner ko ye pe ye bo coach about a coach no a good coach it you as a coach in there eso kokrom kakra say ya o magire o mo team o mo ye adwuma no dia ma fi se no so ba e be bo
Joe, I think young Quenum to the targeter, coach by a diamani. Or Abuboni Bida. He say you are into coaching. Looking at 6 matches and aka. Coach say still no bet me the Sakuru Kutimi at the league, you know. Young can create a achievable. Obey me.
Me met Maka say I want self confidence as a coach. Or share ne said o city na office bia obetima league no but me for media me who say it's too late but empabo na say ebo say nyame bo na kwa
bo
say bi obeja league no because hwe nation no mo form ne baby any form na mo pick pa but in football we at misi so if Kotoko win 6 matches ni nyina na ebinum 2 teams na kan so elusu a last time ne boss ko hwe match bi number ye didin komo na obi ye say o ye kwa away a ebitma ko win o ha na bi a home match ni awe ne na team ni ko lusu a utimi enjaje ni sa etimi dem who say all the confidence na o ka say obetma jirigi ya mo mpa ye say e o ka no na enye
na enye ya ko fa problem mo one team no
I say anye ya then you to beg them say Mr. Mo me can say mo fan chem na prepare another season.
Okay, yeah, I see. Mas how about be ma menko chema Nyantakyi na chema men samu akwa baby say oba so bibia boko there.
As bibia boko so far so good.
Na what me I have team no. Oba Ghana.
Yes, your vision.
Vision o kwahwe bia. Oh okay. Na team need to say.
Okay, before I met Kosono, my main taking this opportunity to say me the best. It's here for.
No problem.
I know say all over the world people are watching this show, and so thanks to them, and just wanted to say good morning. All right, NT day in question against Vision. Now my like Michelle has games, idea, but that specific day, it wasn't a very good game.
That's a mobile.
Because Vision and Kolano, I had hope. Say, oh, Kola way there, you bet me no more. But Americano it was really difficult for the boys, and the boys found it hard to do just the basic things, and that had me thinking a little bit because these are supposed to be, it's Accra House of Folk, and it's the top of the top, right? So those boys are supposed to showcase something that mimics or aligns with the team that they play for, but that day it wasn't the case. So I wasn't impressed, to put it that way.
Your boss season we be ade ba ko na run it through. Oh, House of Folk recruitment and koye amount to the right players are na say nkomo na ebebo a team no. And I know say as chairman at the diaspora no oni mpanifo din komo. Almost say what is the problem? I say every season biano House of Folk enya no wrong about recruitment. They no mo hwa am dey recruitment that e be season be wie bia say the same asamna ba ko na ne ka da bia recruitment e almost say e dey ade a oni mpanifo din koma.
Okay, nti talking to a few people, no, it looks like people know the gap that Hasselhoff has right now, which is bringing in quality players. People know that. And I want to say is that the players and their managers also know this. So I wouldn't say that, I don't know if this is the right word, but I think some people are taking advantage of the system, right? And putting yourself in the shoes of the administrators running the club, you know. Oba say be a boy way, wakudin komo wa say, and he's been quoted a figure, and I'm going to just use basic numbers in this example. Until almost say be other teams on between 2,000, but because that same boy now betina has folk was measure 4,000, right? So at that point, you know, it becomes real delicate. Do you just pay the boy because you need him, or you go with what his value really is? Now I think say in that little piece of negotiation, you know, that's where it gets really, really tough, because the boys, you know, fortunately, unfortunately, you know, like your team, you know, has not really performed well. So I'm on Tehas. They think it's just a team that's part of the Premier League, or maybe they might have heard of what had.
I think players number
players.
Adamu more orientation, Anna.
We're supposed to, but that I probably need to check and see if we are doing that. But they'll probably hear stories about what we used to be, but in the last 9 years plus, or even more, we haven't shown that we are that team that we used to be, right? So back in the day, you know, people like these boys wanted to play for us, even without us talking to them. Omu dream, they said they'll play for us, or in another case, Kotoko, and that is the highest they can be exposed to before they travel overseas. But that's not the case no more. And so the player looks at it as, okay, what it has? Well, Nations FC is there, Baby is there. They're equally doing even better than you, and they probably have the funds to pay me. So why should I play for you? And to say if you don't have a real good way of recruiting the players, and like Joe said, talking to them and like massaging the situation on bringing them on board, and you are quick to say that 4,000 min because Matisse said will value say any idea. The player will move on general, and by doing this we'll lose players. So our approach needs to change. Whatever we're doing is not working. The players are always going to be the main architects of what we do. Because of them, that's why everybody's here.
Sure.
Right? So how do we really give them that doctor-nurse relationship and be there for them, massage them, and make them know that they are wanted this way? In those situations, you know, they are not always following the money, and rather what they can gain from joining Hasselhoff.
Okay. There's a teacher on point in a CE. So, what he's saying is, say you be a transfer window now, and yes, it has and identify good players now. I'm identify, I'm saying your club, yeah, identify them. But on all the national form now, the amount house getting it wrong is during the negotiation period.
And you probably take advantage.
So, for instance, young fan is a player, be say Emmanuel entry. No about Olympics. Yes, a house pen. Yes, a Kotoko pen. Samate speno. Baby any go star speno. Obo Olympics in kind what the go back so obey house scratching any of the other clubs no me interested e. Now, what Chamanya that he's saying is, Ubetiana say player no end up Kotoko, because probably the way Kotoko any year negotiations no, and you're so much interested in the numbers, but the negotiations no, they are branching and pair so we meeting halfway or convincing and say on the bomb on choose you above others now more and so air pen no, or Giddy say. A do soft stage of the recruitment now. That is where has a problem. Sometimes tintin will figure be with him and say, yeah, no, we are not ready to badge into Ejina baby Ejina because I say you're trying to move a look at who quote figures no any other. Now, Chairman, before we move on, some come over this and in all honesty, Sir Ocean Kofua in the last 3-4 years. Omo in charge of house negotiations now. Ubeka say omo based on street football knowledge. Oh, nimbo oh alaja can be mo oh nimbo mu oh wadi oh wadi bu achiache enti on all handles anoma but elsewhere there are even clubs are apart from CEOs they have negotiators negotiating deals now do we come back and say ewo togbe ho in running the business na nkasa no are wrong people are now need the expertise to get these things done and the BR we are running into circle cancer house is the repetition of the same problems, is it because in charge of handling the business, they are just not competent enough now?
Okay, I think that's a very good question. First off, I think in the wisdom of our leader, His Majesty Togbe, for him to handpick a few people to say they are the ones that he trusts to be able to do this, that in itself should be good enough for us, right? Because there's a reason why he's where he is, and he's successful, right? And success does not come by making bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. So I want to say he thinks the people that he's selected are the ones to help us get to the promised land, if you will. And even in their negotiations, like you said, I think they've gotten some right. Because if you quite remember, last season, our biggest problem was not the scoring. It was rather the goalkeeper and the defendant. And we went through goalkeepers and made little elementary mistakes and stuff like that. But is that same team they were able to negotiate this time around and get us Benjamin Asari. So when they are doing well in that area, people automatically forget about it. Say we had a problem then, right? So all I'm saying is they will get some right and they'll get some wrong. And like Benjamin Asari is one of the ones that they got right, and all the other ones that we could have potentially got, which I want to say about 2 or 3 of them ended up with Kotoko, were ones that we missed out. So as we are in the learning game, we all continue to learn, right? His Majesty Togbe continues to learn, even in his current position, because everybody wants to become better, right? And see, all I was saying is that they need to continue to learn and trying to close those gaps to the point where if we are at toe-to-toe with a team like Kotoko for a player, because we are ahead when it comes to negotiating, we are able to close the deal ahead of Kotoko versus where we are now, where it seems like Kotoko were closing all the deals that potentially could have been House of Folk deals. So let's continue to learn, and I think we'll get better.
Okay, Chairman. As the chairman at the diaspora, you said, so calls you about so. Say, Kotoko AB is only a big team, and you man sakum coach. House of Folk, you started season, and I support the started coach you and you good because all last season, there's all the man house now. It looks like a one or two so at this season team campaign for Nyantakyi. Now I'm going for coach for Emra, but still, he's still at post. Meaning, sir calls, no. Oh, no, me coach, no, Nyantakyi, I'm going for now. If we said the timing is wrong.
So me nya calls with the
okay.
Me am diaspora for no.
Okay.
Me nya call my friend me. Hey, Fred took be na catch and so my coaching call. One of it you. Me nya the bia. But what and I mean this is just my opinion, right? Even though we are all a diaspora, like we agree on some things, we don't agree. But at the end of the day, we'll make a collective decision on what best we want to push. I think what has not worked for House of Folk is exactly what we are trying to do, which is House of Folk is a big club, an expectant club, and people expect us to be at a certain level at all times, performing at a high level. In Nyantakyi, the first thing that we do is raise the flag, the white towel, and go Yempam coach, right? And in the last 10, 12 years, how has that worked for us? As a I wouldn't even
changing
say
of coaches.
How does that work? I wouldn't even say as a club. It's a business, right? So if you're a business and you keep sacking coaches, and paying them
and the same result.
and the same result.
It means there's a problem with the Okra appointment. No?
Probably, I don't know, right? But what I do know is that sacking of the coaches is not our problem. It's probably something we need to really sit down as a team, as a group, and look at. But let me use Coach Samuel Bodo as an example. Okay, so we went through a stint of where nothing worked for us. We got Samuel Bodo. I want to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, Samuel Bodo came to House of Folk not from any, like, he wasn't like a big fish that we went to catch, right? He was an up and coming coach doing well somewhere, and we identified that whatever philosophy that he has probably fits with what we are trying to do, and we brought him in. And on his first try, he won the league, he won the FA Cup, and defended the league. Okay, we loved him. Then we, the supporters, again, we started the next season. 3 games in, I don't even think he lost. I think he lost 1 and tied 2 or something like that. 3 games in, we called for his head, okay? So we let him go even after everything he did for us. So now he goes to Chelsea, and he's at Chelsea right now. I want to say this is his first season. Do we think, I haven't looked at where Chelsea is, but if Samuel Boadu, based on what he did at Haas, comes to Chelsea and he's not able to replicate that, do we say Samuel Boadu is a bad coach? I don't think so. Right? So I just think that we only have 6 games left in the season. This is the same coach, Quatara, that has given us some joy in certain parts of this season where we won back to back and everybody was singing the Phobia anthem. And Coach Quatara is the same coach that has given us losses in the trot and everybody turns on him again, right? We have 6 games to go. Nobody has been able to man the league and take advantage of everybody's lapses. Obi winning, Obi winning next week. No, Akoda top. No, lose. No, Obi so winning. So Obi to me and command this position. In the same way, House of Folk won a few games, 4 games in a row. Who knows? We win the next 6 games, then we are back in pole position, right? But until that happens, I think that we just let Coach finish what he's doing to the end of the season, and the big people reassess and take it from there.
I mean, was it all diaspora, and we know the diaspora for more structured way of saying Yoma, PBI more structured. Meeting as Wasama there's certain level of agreement. Say, I say, even from near senior crack, Kotoko crack. I say 2 clubs in Yano. I did a lack of structure, like a clear for both Kotoko and Hearts. And I don't know, more as diaspora for how are we going to get your clubs now? Because taxes for honum, coach for honum, supporters for honum. But Nina bedrock near structure of the club. No? In one of those voices, I hear Nazando Ekano. Also, Coach Karim did this on TSC Kotoko as a club in philosophy, and essentially it's about structure.
Yes.
But clubs no, because clubs no structure, there will be a structure even for recruitment. Structure for coaching the neighbor. How long you pay coach next na honum? Say Osha even club it said Chelsea. Grandpa Toman 5 years. Unyayan Kodma Grandpa at now, but the supporter said no, we won't agree. Then the next move was that the Pochettino bad year. Everyone who just 2 years with option for 1. Season is yes, months are option if go. Maresca comes, he says that 5 years. Why? Grandpa and the Maresca, who say they fit the class philosophy and the owner's philosophy. But it looks as if we don't have. I don't know what more penny for how you can get these 2 clubs to get a structure, because that's a structure in the like more than almost anything.
Yeah, I think. Thanks for the question. I think when it comes to getting your side of the world, and I'll use Ghana as an example. These 2 clubs are traditional clubs, right? And Oshe said, we believe in certain things over the way the world is advancing, if I put it that way, right? Into it'll be a total change in the way our thought process that can only get us over there, right? The same group of people that are with the club, that are around the club, have been for a very, very long time, right? and they've done things a certain way. I think, say, with time, we need to be real strategic about this. Where, to your point, when we are bringing people in, it needs to be strategic, right? So like it has a strategy to it. Say nipa we are dinner ban.
Or fit team nana.
Or fit the philosophy and everything like that. And even if we don't have a philosophy, my question would be like at this day and age with football, why don't we have a philosophy, right?
Yeah.
And even if we do, has it been shared to the point where everybody can walk the street as a House of Folk or Kotoko fan, and you just ask them a question? What do you think? Because people follow the team, they eat, sleep, everything. They should be able to, even at that level, answer for what the philosophy is, because it's public knowledge. It's been shared, right? But I think, I wouldn't say our mentality, but sometimes the way we think in this part of the world, we want to keep everything traditional until we break that cycle where we follow the modern trend on how things are being done. We'll continue to see gaps in that area. Can we get there? We definitely can. But until we make the approach and get on the road to try to do those things, it'll take us some time.
Chairman, that should be us. Say area to go for the flow. No, so the general manager's position at the house. Brana Beji na di Jumanu Mahasa already.
I'm a phobian, and I've been a phobian since I can remember. I think once I'm in football, in the future, if anything comes up and they feel because there's a lot of smart people out there. I wouldn't even put my name in the pot yet. There's a lot of smart people that are ahead and stuff like that probably could do the job. But when it gets to a point where they feel I'm ready and that I can bring whatever little knowledge that I've acquired, definitely that's something that I'll look into.
What about the amount a new team? Woman, Mighty Royals. Also, name a